Hello, hello. If you were like, oh my gosh, that literal equation lesson was just so exciting. I loved it so much. I wish we could do some more of it. You're in luck, because guess what? We're doing some more of it. All right, so we are on day 11 notes, and the next lesson is actually next two lessons are review, and then you have your first test of the year. Okay, really, this isn't anything new. It's honestly review of yesterday. Sometimes it just helps seeing these things 2 days in a row. All right, so let's go back over the basics. Sometimes all of your variables are multiplying, so you will need to divide. So for example, here this b, this is telling you what you're solving for. Remember, I suggest you circle it. Feel free to draw your line. So we're trying to get the b by itself. So what needs to move? The h. So we'll go ahead and we'll divide by h on both sides. And you'll just have v over h equals b. Okay, and that's it. Okay. For number two, same sort of thing. You're solving for r. So I'm going to circle it. What's with the r? T. How to get rid of the t? You divide it. Okay, so that's just d over t equals r. Okay, and that's the whole thing. All right, likewise, sometimes our variables are dividing. So guess what we're going to do? We're going to multiply. Okay, so like for number 3, we're solving for a, so I'll circle it. What's on the same side as a? The c, and since it's dividing, we will multiply, so times c. And since these are both letters, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. You can either say CJ or JC. It's up to you. Okay, let's try another one. We're solving for D. And what's on the same side as D? The R. And since the R is dividing, we will multiply by R on both sides. Okay, so you can call it RT or TR equals D. If you want to put the dot or parentheses, you can. I just do this. Okay. Sometimes our variables are adding or subtracting, so we will need to do the opposite. All right. So for example, let's draw our line since there's a little more going on here. We are getting the c by itself, solving for c. Notice you have both the a and the 2b, and they are, one's adding and one's subtracting. It doesn't actually matter what order you do this in. Okay, you just need to move both of them. So here's what I do. I just go in order. See how it's an a? I subtract a on both sides. But the minus 2b, to move that, I'm going to add 2b on both sides. And I just kind of write it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to rewrite it horizontally. So it's going to be d minus a plus 2b equals c. And that would be my answer. Okay, now if you had this, that would also be fine because the 2b is still positive and the a is still negative. All right, so there are a couple of correct answers for these guys. R. Okay, so first identify what needs to move away from the R. And it's the 3s and the 2v. Notice they aren't multiplying to the R, they're adding and subtracting. So you're just going to do the opposite. The 3s is a positive, so I will subtract it once on each side. The 2v is a negative, so I will add it once on each side. Cancel, cancel. R comes down, and then I just literally go in order of what it says. It says 15 minus 3s plus 2v equals R. Okay, and that's it. Let's try two more. M. Okay, a little more going on with this one. Reason being, you have a 2 that is multiplying to the m. That's different than what happened above. And you have a 4n that is added. Same rules as before. Undo addition and subtraction first. So we'll subtract our 4n on both sides. Be careful. This is a 20, not a 20n. 20 minus 4n is not 16n. They are not like terms. You're just going to rewrite it. Okay? We're still solving for m. So now what are you going to do with that 2? You're going to divide it. Okay, dividing we can do. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Negative 4n divided by 2, negative 2n. Okay, there you go. Easy peasy. Okay, last one of these. We're doing great on time here. We're solving for m. This one has a number in it. What? It's incredible. So again, addition and subtraction, undo those first. So let's subtract our 8. 15 and 8 are both numbers. So guess what? You can actually subtract them. 15 minus 8 is 7. Okay, this is different than here. 20 and 4n were not like terms. 15 and 8 are both numbers. You can subtract them. And then we're still solving for m. So what's your final step? Divide by k. Okay, 7 divided by k can't reduce, so you're just going to leave it as 7 divided by k. All right, how we doing? Better than the other lesson, hopefully? Fingers crossed? Okay, let's keep going. Flip the page. Lastly, it is very important that we become good at solving for y for when we get to our graphing unit. Okay, solving for y for both of these. If you want, you can go ahead and circle those y's right now. I'm going to draw on my lines as well. So again, undo addition and subtraction first. The 4x here, that's what's being added on. I know it looks like it's being subtracted on, but it's really a plus here. And then you have a negative 12 that's multiplying to y, so we'll divide that last. But your first step will be to subtract the 4x. When you bring down your 12y, make sure your negative is still there. And do not tell me this is 20x. Single tier, okay? They don't combine. 24 minus 4x, that's it. Okay? We're still solving for y. Final step, dividing by that negative 12. Okay. 24 divided by negative 12 is negative 2. A negative divided by a negative will be a positive. And if you want, type this into your calculator. Make sure you can get a 1/3. That's what it'll be when you math rack it. Do not lose your x. Okay, and make sure you have a plus. It was a negative divided by a negative. All right, let's try this guy. Same pattern every time. Move your x, divide. Okay, so move your x first. We will add 2x. Bring down that 9y. Don't actually add it. Don't do it. Just rewrite it. One is a number, one is an x. Okay? Then we'll divide by 9. Negative 18 divided by 9 is negative 2. And 2/9, if you type that in and you try to math rack it, it's just going to give you 2/9 again. Do not forget your x. Cool. All right, our last problem is just a good old review solving problem, guys. Look, only one variable, just x. So let's go ahead and let's do some distributive property. 2 times 2.3 is 4.6. and then 2 times 12.2, so plus 24.4. Rewrite this stuff. Here's my line. Okay, you don't have like terms to combine. You do have a smaller x though. This is the one we should move first. And since it's a negative, I will add it. Plus 3.1x on each side. Which should give us a 7.7x. Okay. Be careful, make sure your 9.4 comes down with its negative. Okay, and now even though there are all these decimals, it's just the same solving as usual. Undo addition and subtraction first. This 24.4 we will need to subtract over since it was originally a positive. Negative 9.4 minus 24.4. So that's a negative 33.8. And final step to solve for x, we're dividing by that 7.7. And we're told to round to the nearest hundredth. So let's do that. 2 decimals in, negative 4.38. Okay, but look what's right next to that 8. It's a 9. It's going to move our 8 up. So negative 4.39 it is. All right, there you go. So that was the last day of literal equations. Your next 2 lessons are review days, and then you have your Unit 1 test. So reach out, let me know if you have any questions. I will see you in our next virtual meeting or your next video, whichever happens to come first. Okay, see you later.